Good afternoon, everybody. It's another one of my wonderful videos for you. A lot has changed since the last one. My hair's got longer for a start, a little bit whiter too. But I do think that there's an awful lot of guidance which has come out regarding the testing and the return of students to school, which may or may not make sense when it's written down in black and white on paper. And of course, schools are interpreting the guidance in different ways. So I'm taking to video again in the hope that I can clear some of these issues up for you. The first thing is Monday the 8th of March is the return date for students that the government have said we can open. What that means for us is a phased return of students. Okay, so we have students we need to test, and we have students who we need to have in lessons for face-to-face teaching. And we have a permanent group who will be with us all the time, and we also have some students who will be self-isolating, so it's a very confusing picture. So here goes. On Monday, only year 11, 12 and 13 students will attend school, and they will come into school for appointment time that they have been given, and if we have consent, they will be tested. We're using the lateral flow test. They will remain in school for 30 minutes and then they will go home. So on Monday, year 11, 12 and 13, and only those who are giving consent to a test come to school, test, wait for the result, go home. All other year groups will be accessing their learning online, remotely, with the exception of 11, 12 and 13. When it's your test day, you don't have remote learning. On Tuesday, we will welcome back for face-to-face teaching in the classroom all year 11, 12 and 13 students, unless they've tested positive or are self-isolating. We will also have appointments for year 7 and year 10 students who will come in, test, wait the 30 minutes, and then go home. And the year 7 and 10 students won't have remote learning that day. That's their test day. Years 8 and 9, who are neither testing nor in school, will access remote learning on Tuesday. Wednesday, we now have all year 11, all year 12, all year 13, all year 7 and all year 10 students in the academy, face-to-face teaching. We will have year 8 and year 9 students attending the academy for their tests at the times they've been given. They come, they test, they wait half an hour, they go home. Year 8 and 9 on Wednesday won't have remote learning. Now to Thursday. Thursday, hurrah! Everybody's back in the academy, face-to-face teaching, all years, 7 to 13. There will be an extended form tutor time to 9:15 on Thursday morning and Friday morning, but that apart, it's generally the normal school day. Except, of course, those students who've given consent now need to start their test too. And it will be the same routine. Year 11, 12 and 13 on Thursday, year 7 and 10 on Friday, and year 8 and 9 the following Monday. And we'll go through another cycle of that for a third test, until we get to Thursday, when we hope we've gone through all the tests that we need to. If a child is self-isolating, tested positive, or they're a contact in the household, we will face-to-face teach that year group in school, but for that student, they will be able to access learning from home through the blended learning plan. Now that may mean some work has been set on Teams for them, or, and this is what we'd very much prefer, it may mean that they can access the lesson live, according to the timetable. I hope that's clear. If you're wondering why we're not just simply getting all year groups back in one go, it's because physically we can't do that. We can't test and teach and remote learn all at the same time if everybody's in school. It just won't work. We don't have the capacity. So that's why there is the phased return. Which I know you've had a letter about, and I know it's on the social media and it's on the website. Okay. As usual, there are some frequently asked questions, and I've got them on my screen here, so I'm going to refer to these as I talk to you. So here we go. Is uniform to be worn when the children attend the test day? Yes, it is. When a child is coming to our school, they are in school uniform, in our academy uniform. So if you're coming in just for a test and then leaving, you still wear school uniform. I will miss my lessons when I attend my first appointment. What do I do? So staff have been told not to set work for the day of your testing. Okay, that's for your year group. But you'll use this time to get your uniform together, to get your books together, to get your equipment together, to finish any unfinished tasks. So it's time that you can spend wisely. Which entrance do I use for the test? Okay, so you should arrive in good time, 10 minutes earlier, 10 minutes prior to the appointment, via the pedestrian gate on Davy Road. So Davy Road, nearest the netball courts, where year 7 and year 10 would normally arrive. Okay, that's going to be your assembly point, so that we can get you from there and then take you through. That's on your test day. When you're attending school normally, so for year 12, year 11, 12, 13, that's Tuesday, you would come in via your normal entrance. It's only on your test day that you come in via the pedestrian gate at Davy Road. Okay. Do I have to wear my mask in lessons? The government guidance, the DFE guidance, OAT guidance, and what OAT West schools are doing is quite clear. It is our expectation that you wear a mask during lesson time, in corridors, in short, at any time you are in the building. The masks can be removed at break and lunch if done so properly and safely, and you're outside. If you're inside, our expectation is that you wear a mask. Masks do not need to be worn in PE lessons once you've left the building. And the normal process of handing your mask in using a clear plastic bag with your name on will continue. Which form do I need to return when I come in for my test? Okay, so there's a purple form. That's what we need when you should complete it, and that's what we need when you come in for your test. How will testing work once school is open? It's a good question. So the test 2, you'll be in normal lessons. So what will happen is you'll be collected from those lessons and you'll be escorted to the test centre on the day of the second and the third test. So you don't worry about a separate appointment time. We come and get you from your lessons. If I'm already in school, do I need to be tested? Right, so we've had all throughout this period, we've had what we call our permanent group, our key worker children, and you've been in school all this time. So no, you don't need to be tested. You've already been tested. So no, you'll attend as normal until your year group starts as normal, and then you join them. So if you're in year 11 and you're in our permanent group, you would join your year 11 classes on Tuesday. Okay, right. I'm exempt from wearing a mask. What do I do? Okay, so we have a list of students who we know for medical reasons shouldn't wear a mask, and they have an exemption card. So that card is presented at the start of the lesson so your teacher knows. Or indeed, if somebody like myself asks you why you're not wearing a mask in a corridor, you'll have the card to show me. But it will only apply to those students who have a medical condition. That is already on our school records. So if you now think that applies to you, your parent needs to write a letter to your progress leader or the student welfare manager so that we have that medical information. Because if we have that medical information, we put a risk assessment around you. Okay, so all things will come from that medical information. Right, yet more to go. Let me see. When I come in for my test, do I go home straight afterwards? So on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever it is you're coming in for your test, once you've completed your test, you have to wait. You have to wait for the results. And sometimes the result can be unsuccessful, so you might need to do it again. And sometimes it can take up to 30 minutes. But once we have a result, we'll tell you. If it's negative, well, then you go home. Do not wait for friends or hang around in groups. Do not do that. If you have trouble getting home, please let the student welfare manager know, because the student welfare manager will be the one who's allocated to your year group on that testing day. Let them know and we'll find space for you to wait. If the test is positive, we'll care for you, we will look after you, we will give you appropriate guidance, and we will make sure that parents and family know. Okay? Who will conduct the test? Do I swab myself? Okay, good question. A trained member of staff will talk you through how to conduct the swab. You will collect the sample and the swab will be passed to the processing team. What does that process look like? Well, I've now done it countless times in school. You enter our test centre in a one-way, socially distanced manner, if you like. You register at the one desk, you then get directed to a bay. And at the first bay, you hand sanitize, you'll blow your nose, hand sanitize again. You'll get a swab, which looks like a long stick with a cotton bud on the end, and you insert that into the back of your throat, touching the area just above and around the tonsils, right at the back there. Not too hard. If it's too hard and it draws blood, it won't work. If it's too hard, it'll be unsuccessful. So just at the back of the throat there, 4 or 5 times up and down. Then you take the swab out. It mustn't touch the tongue or the teeth. And then you place it up your nostril to the top, and you then twirl it. I think they say 10 times. And you take it down, and then you take it to the processing desk where the person will ask you to put it in the test tube. That's it. And then you hand sanitize and you exit according to our procedures. Whilst you're waiting, that swab then gets mixed with solution, and hopefully we get the result. Is it reliable? If it's done well, it is reliable. If it's not done according to the guidance, it's not. So it's a simple answer. What does it tell you? It will tell you whether you are most likely negative or not. Is it important you do it? The government and the guidance is saying that it is, and it's a key component of our reopening of schools. It isn't compulsory, but is highly recommended. Right, are the swabs latex free? So the manufacturers confirmed that the swabs are latex free. Okay. Do the lateral flow tests contain animal products, or have they been tested on animals? So all of the antibodies are necessarily generated from animal cells. And whilst we do not test any of these products on animals, nor are animals harmed in the development process, the added antibodies used for the test reaction are derived using an animal cell in the laboratory. So the T line for positive test is derived from a reaction between the sample as it flows through the membrane, which is coated with these antibodies. It is therefore highly unlikely for there to be any direct contact between the person being tested and the animal material itself. Are the LFD tests vegan? So during development, no time have any component parts been tested on animals. Okay. Are the LFD tests halal? No animal products have been used in the production of the swabs. The swab is the only material with which the individual will come into direct contact. Okay. Is the LFD test safe for those who are pregnant? Yes, the tests are safe for those used by those who are pregnant. Can my family use the tests? And I think that's a question about the home tests that children may well take home, 2 home tests a week. No, that test is simply for the student. It's as quite straightforward as that. And they do say, try not to eat or drink half an hour prior to taking that home test. Although a little bit of water, I gather, is okay. I hope that's cleared things up. I've done my best. I think the DFE guidance is really good and clear on paper. Sometimes it can be open to interpretation. Some of the issues that I know concern you, particularly say the masks, I go back to our line. It is our recommendation, it is our expectation that masks should be worn at all times indoors. And that's from the guidance. The lateral flow test, again, it's from the guidance. It's not compulsory, but it's highly recommended that all students should take the 3 tests in this period. It is a quite confusing picture to return to school because it's specific year groups for testing on certain days, it's remote learning for certain year groups on some days, and then it's a return to school for all students. So it is quite a confusing picture. If you have any questions at all, you can ask them of the progress leader or the student welfare manager for your child's year group, and we obviously will do our very, very best to answer any of those questions that come in. From my point of view and from the staff point of view, if you like, we're so looking forward to having the children come back. A school is a soulless place without children in it. The summer holidays in schools are appalling if you go into the school buildings because there's no children. It's for me, a school is a collection of young people. So we are so excited about them coming back, and we do understand that this is a long period of lockdown, and we know that some children will be coming back and they'll want to explore some of those issues with us. We also know that an awful lot of children will just be glad to be coming back and back into the routine of school. So we are going to be bespoke about our arrangements. We are going to deal with matters when they arise, but we are fundamentally going to make sure that we continue to be safe, okay? That we continue to care for our children, and that we continue to help them and encourage them to achieve their dreams. And I do know that the year 11 and year 13 will be anxious and will be concerned about this year's examinations and the grades. We are working our way through the consultation, we are working our way through the guidance, but I would urge them not to be too anxious, not to be too worried, because I have a feeling that all good things will come to pass. So first and foremost, we're just really excited about getting the children back, and we so look forward to seeing them next week. Thank you.